Hi, everybody. This is, I don't know, yet another video by Joanne. This is specifically for Math Foundations Pre-Calculus 10, and we're talking about division of polynomials on this one. What was I going to say? If you've never done this before, I've got another set of videos that are just kind of like the generic polynomial videos. This is assuming that basically you did it last semester and just needed a little bit of review to make it work. So you need the other set. Go to my go to my YouTube channel, subscribe. You could be number 62, 62nd subscriber. Anyway, you can go there and find the playlist that's just called polynomials. Um, this one, just ask me. I'll send you the stuff. How about that? Anyway, let's get to it. So I believe if you've been in my class, you know that if you understand the basics of how stuff works and what all this numbers and exponents and what all this stuff stands for, a lot of it is easier than you think. It looks pretty complicated. And if all you're doing is memorizing rules, it's hard because there's a lot of stuff to memorize. But if you understand a few basic things, you should be okay. And I just realized I'm really dark in the picture. Sorry. Oh, look, now I got lighter again. Okay, I got to lean forward. Anyway, so expanding the following. So remember that exponents, right? That's what the little number is. Oh, why not? And I realize 90% of the time I call this the variable, which it is, right? Any letter is a variable. It's when we're talking about exponents, it's also referred to as the base. Okay. Anyway, what x to the 6 means, and I suspect you already know, is going to be x times x times x. That's 3. There's 4. There's 5. There's 6. Okay. So the base or the variable is what you're going to write, and the exponent tells you how many times you're going to write it. And if anybody's worried whether I put a bracket on that first one or not, it doesn't matter. If I put dots in between to show multiplication, it doesn't matter. Don't put times signs because times signs plus x's is just confusing. So take a minute, pause the video if you need to, and write out or expand those next two. Right, I trust you did. So a to the fourth, I'll write this the other way. A times A times A times A times B times these little dots times B times C. Same. So whether you use the dots to show multiplication or the brackets, it's all good. And this one is going to be a D and a D and a T, 2, 3, 4, and a Z. So if there is no exponent, I should have said that before, there's an understood one there. Same thing on the C. So now we're going to do division. And it won't take long. I'll expand these because that's what the instructions say, but you're going to figure out what the rule is pretty quick. So this is going to give me 1, 2, and I'm going to just admit I'm being lazy. I'm not even going to bother with the dots or the brackety bits because this is just easy. Okay, there we go. Ooh, look at this. So to simplify, what we can do is cancel. So anything divided by itself is 1. So those two x's are going to cancel out and become 1. Those two x's are going to cancel out and become 1. And 1 times 1 is 1. And we don't need to write the 1 in front. So essentially, they disappear. And that's going to give me x, 1, 2, 3, 4, x to the fourth left. Ta-da! 1, 2, 3, 4. See what I did there? Move the B's over so they would line up and be pretty so that I can cancel. Does it matter? Absolutely not. That A disappears, that one cancels to one, this cancels to one, and so does that C. So all that I have left is, oops, right, wrong pen. A squared, because there's two A's and a B. Sorry, not that exciting. I know. D1. All right. So what's going to cancel? I'm going to be able to cancel a D. Be able to cancel a T and a Z. I wasn't clever enough that time to scooch the Z over to make it work. That leaves me with D and 1, 2, 3 T's, T3, and the Z's just disappear. So they don't show up at all because they cancel out to 1. What's the shortcut? You already know, right? Look at the exponents and look at the answer. So we're dividing x to the 6th by x squared. All we have left is x to the 4th. All you do is subtract your exponents and you're fine. That's all there is to it. Let's see if that works. A to the 4 divided by a squared, so that's going to be 4 minus 2. We got 2. B squared, oh, remember all those little understood ones that we, we're basically just too lazy to write all the time. So b squared divided by b is just going to be b. If you want, you can put the 1, but that's just extra work. And the last one, d squared. I can't even squish them in, they're all ones. So 2 minus 1 is 1, and 4 minus 1 is 3. And 1 minus 1, technically, and we'll get to this later, but I'll do it anyway. You could write z to the 0, because 1 minus 1 is 0. Follow the rules. But really anything, I'll give you the tip now, anything to the 0 power is 1, so we just don't bother. So, no. Okay, so what are the rules for dividing a monomial, one term, by a monomial, one term? So divide the numbers. I'll divide the big numbers out front, the coefficients. And subtract your exponents. And it's not really a rule, but watch the signs. Watch your signs. I'll put it down anyway. Sometimes we'll throw in a negative just to make it interesting. All right, let's take a look. Got a whole lot of options. All right, so 42 divided by 6. Excuse me. I'm going to write it to the side once. I would never do this, but again, just so you see where this is coming from. 42 divided by 6 is 7. And V3 divided by V2 is actually V to the 3 minus 2, which is V to the 1. Always a lot of work. So our answer is 7B. You don't need any of that. 42 divided by 6 is 7. 3 minus 2 is 1. Done. End of story. Boom. You thought this was hard. Nay, my friends. We're good. All right. 8 divided by 2 is going to give me 4. And pop a 1 in there. N to the 4th divided by n to the 1. So that's going to be 4 minus 1 is 3. I like the fact that you're having a bad day, you're second guessing what you put on your formula sheet, you decided you didn't need to put this on the formula sheet, but you really should have. You can always go back 1, 2, 3, 4, 2n. 8 divided by 2 gives me 4. Those cancel out. That probably was just about as fast. I'm going to apologize. I'm working on, yeah, about the little jittering thing. It's because I'm working on my desk at home and it's not really as solid as I thought it was. Anyway, all right, here we go. Let's just finish this up. 5 divide. It's just 5. We're not dividing it by anything. 5. If you want, you can put a 1 there. 5 divided by 1, still 5. And k to the 4 divided by k to the 3, I'm going to go 4 minus 3. And that's going to give me k. Put the 1. Don't put the 1. It's fine. Now, this one caused us a lot of grief when we went through it in class. You have multiple options. Now, first of all, if you are someone who's comfortable with fractions, you recognize that 3/8. Yeah, what's the word I want? It's reduced. You can't make it any different. So one answer, 3/8. Done. Happy. A lot of my students said, not dealing with fractions. They went 3 divided by 8, and they got 0.375. I'm okay either way. Don't care. Unless I specifically say you have to do it with fractions, it's fine. There we go. There's our first page done. Let's see how far this video goes. Sorry. Sorry about that. Just had to fart around with the paper, get it all set up. No big deal. Actually, you know what? Pause the video. You can do this. I know you can. Divide the numbers, subtract the exponents. And that should pretty much work for all of them until you get down to question 16, which is the next video. So this was a preliminary introductions. Here's how it works. Here's the rules. Give it a shot. So please pause the video and then come back and you can either continue watching the video, or you know what? I really think you can probably just check the answer key. You can either check the answer key, which should be in this booklet, or maybe you want to go on Brightspace and see the solution key, which has got all the stuff worked out. Not going to be really different for this section. Anyway, stop me talking. You pause. And I'm back. All right. These are not going to take very long. 20 divided by 5 is 4. P to the 8th divided by P to the 5, so it's just 8. Ooh, what if I do this? Throw it up there. 8 minus 5 is going to give me, I'm sorry, I'm weirdly excited about that. That seems like not a bad way to do this. You put the 8 minus 5, and then you know what? I'm going to draw a little arrow there. We're golden. All right, 36 divided by 36 is 6. And n to the 4 divided by n to the 4, that just cancels it out. So if it's something divided by itself, so n to the 4 divided by n to the 4, or x to the 5 divided by x to the 5, those just cancel out. Or sorry, when you divide them, they become 1, but essentially they just cancel out. We don't need them. So the answer is just 6. So on this one, if it had been P8 over P8, you would have just the 4. Ooh. Yeah, this is a symptom, the way this is written. It's got to do with the software that I use. Sometimes it's cranky and it doesn't actually do what I want it to do. So what you need to know is when there's a negative out front, there's only one negative. If you want, you can move it and apply it to the 54, but there's only one negative. So I know my answer is going to be negative. 54 divided by, I'll slow down. 54 divided by 9 is going to be 6. And you know what? I really enjoyed that before. 7 minus 3 is 4. So P to 4. It's just 7. And then 8 minus 5 is N3. Okay. Let's look at number 12 now. I'm just going to say one. Sorry for the bleed through. I didn't realize this was printed back to back. A negative divided by a negative makes positive, right? If you're not sure, you could. I'm not even sure I can do it. Let me try. Negative. Oh, I can. Divide 80 divided by negative 8 gives me plain old 10. Just be careful. Oops, you didn't see it. When you're doing this, when your negative is here, don't be using the subtract sign. On some really silly old calculators, you had to do that, but most calculators now are pretty straightforward, and it's good for. I'm just going to put in a plug. Sharp calculators, Casio calculators are better than TI calculators, Texas Instrument. I wouldn't do those unless I absolutely have to. They're harder to use. Let me just leave it like that. Okay, so negative 80 divided by negative 8 gives me 10. And these are identical, so my x's disappear. Dot. 45 divided by negative 5 is going to give me negative 9. For my x's, I'm going to go 4 minus 2 is 2. And for my y's, make sure you can see what I'm doing. Y to the 5th divided by y to the 1 is going to give me y to the 4. I hope that you could imagine this as like 5 y's written out and then 1 y on the bottom. So you cancel that out, bloop, and you're left with y to the 4th. Hold on. Move it up. All right. 6 divided by 2. Sorry, I had a moment there. I couldn't think what that was. That's 3. Excuse me. Now, we haven't talked about it yet, but use the rules. Even though that looks super weird, focus. You can have 0 as an exponent. Clearly, right here, we're going to talk about what that means. But for now, just follow the rules. 8 minus 0 is 8. I'm smiling. I don't know if you can hear it, but Jellybean, my lovely dog, just came and sat beside me. And she's like, rah, rah, rah. She's mad because I'm doing homework and not paying attention to her. All right, sorry, distracted. That's what happens when I work at home. 9 minus 5 is 4. Ta-da! Last one, 5 divided by 5 is 1. And M4 divided by M3, so I'm going to subtract 3, and that's going to give me M4, 1, M1. Or what I'd probably write is just plain old M and be done with it. Hey, thanks for joining me on this exciting journey. Okay, it's evening. I'm kind of tired, a little cheeky. This is good stuff, man. Learn the basics. If you're doing this in grade 10, it's going to make grade 12 so much easier because you're not worried about the polynomial rules. You're worried about the cool new stuff we're learning. Have a spectacular day.